Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Main Street Moments podcast. This is Kathy.
And Brian.
And we're going to discuss the final day of D23. So many announcements coming out, and we're just going to show you everything on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Because I posted pretty much everything in real time. Brian and I were watching the live parks
presentation that they do.
Or whatever they call panel. And they just kept announcing thing after thing. But the one thing we were really waiting on them announcing, which we can get to later, they did not announce. So far, the day is not over,
well,
but it was the parks panel.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to give it away yet. But I got to tell you, and I may be the only person saying this, and we'll talk about the details of what it is later, but I am very disappointed in D23. And I am like, just like if I would have been at D23, if I would have flown out to Anaheim and waited for hours and days and all these lines and sweated and I'm in this crowd and I waited for hours and hours, I would have left so angry today. I would have been like really angry because I'm very disappointed in D20. I'm sorry, I'm disappointed in it for a couple of reasons.
Well, I'm not disappointed at all. There was one thing that everybody was talking about, and it has not been announced yet, and we'll see what happens. But at the parks panel, they did not announce it, so I doubt it's going to happen. It's been a rumor for months and months. That's the only thing that I was a little disappointed in, but everything else I think is amazing. So the first thing they announced today was that they started with it was the parks panel, so they were talking about all the new things happening at the parks, and they started with the parks in Hong Kong and Shanghai, and they said there's going to be a new Zootopia area coming to Shanghai. They're also building a Frozen-themed land in Hong Kong where you can go to Arendelle, and they're going to have like a sled roller coaster, which I wish they had that here.
I mostly get excited about what's going to be at Walt Disney World Orlando because that's where we go. I don't go to any of the other parks. But what I hope when I see these things like this Frozen themed land in Hong Kong, I'm hoping like one day, if we don't get a Frozen land, we'll get aspects of it. Like maybe we'll get the sled coaster one day.
You never know. Sometimes they start things in one park and then they started Ratatouille's in Paris and now they're bringing it here.
That's right, yeah.
So you never know. Then they showed some details, the entrances, the concept art. There was a lot of concept art today. So that's what you're going to see right now in the visuals here. So they showed the entrances to the different Mickey's Runaway Railway coming to Disneyland and Hollywood Studios at Disney World.
Now that one I'm looking forward to a lot, the Runaway Railroad. And
here's the two entrances. Here's the one at Disney World.
Oh, that's ours in Florida.
At the Chinese Theater, and this is the one I think at Disneyland.
Well, we have the better interest in Florida. I missed the movie ride, and for a long time, Galaxy's Edge opens up this week. I'm going to be there on opening day, but there really hasn't been a lot to do at Hollywood Studios in a long time.
What about Toy Story Land?
You got Toy Story Land, which has 3 rides, and then you've got Aerosmith, you've got Star Tours, and you've got Tower of Terror. That's been it for a long time. Okay.
Yeah, it's been stagnant.
So we need another ride.
They're making changes, but they did open Toy Story Land last year, and now they're opening Galaxy's Edge. So they've opened 2 new lands basically in a year. So that's pretty good. And this is the Hong Kong Frozen expansion that they're going to have.
That looks really wild.
This is a concept art. And they're going to have like a roller coaster based on like a sled ride or something, which looks amazing. And you can go to Arendelle. I mean, there's the castle right there. It really looks like right out of the movie. Then this here is the Zootopia concept art. I like Zootopia. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. I like it. I always thought that they should do a Zootopia land at Animal Kingdom. And I think if they did that, it would be highly successful. So perhaps this is going to be at Shanghai. Perhaps that will be coming down the pike. Someday they'll say, well, we're going to do a Zootopia land at Animal Kingdom. I think that's a no-brainer.
Animal Kingdom is going to get an upgrade at some point.
Okay, so this is something you and I talked about years ago, and I said to you, we've never been to the Cirque Du Soleil show. I'm not into Cirque Du Soleil. No. It's very expensive. It's like $100 a person, which, I don't know,
maybe
for a 2-hour show.
It's not my thing.
Not my thing. But I said, you remember last year, why don't they do a Disney-themed Cirque du Soleil? I don't understand. It's on Disney property. Well, I guess they heard me talking about it to you. They're going to do a Cirque du Soleil show, brand new show coming out next spring that is going to be all about Disney animation. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a story about a little girl whose father is an animator. And they're going to have projections of characters Goofy and Mickey involved in the show, interacting with people. I think it's a great idea. This I might
Yeah.
actually go see.
Yeah, the Cirque du Soleil has been there for really about almost as long as I can remember. It's been there for years and years.
It was with Downtown Disney.
Yeah, and I've never thought it fit. I always thought it was kind of out of place with Disney.
Yeah.
And now that they're doing like this Disney theme, that it
It's
fits.
a great idea. And then this is not that big of news to me, but they're going to be opening Disney areas, like a mini Disney store inside Target stores, which they sell a lot of Disney merchandise anyway. So I guess what they're going to do inside some Target stores, they're going to start in 25 stores and then expand. They're going to have like a section built where you can buy Disney merch. This does not look that big.
Well, you know what?
I'm guessing it's going to be a little larger.
I'm thinking about that. Why are they doing it? We have Disney stores here, but malls.
Some have closed though.
Oh yeah, malls are closing.
Yeah.
And if there's a Disney store there, it closes. And there's a mall here in our area. It's not closed, but a lot of it's closed. And the Disney store is closed, and it's still decorated like Disney.
Oh,
but they sell somebody sells drones out of it. So I'm thinking Disney is looking at all these mall closures around the country, and they're looking to Target to fill up the void because of all these mall locations that are being lost.
Well, I think it's a smart move because I think you're right. I think malls are becoming obsolete, unfortunately. I mean, you and I grew up going to the mall. They were big in the 80s, but I think this is a great idea. I love Target. I'm there all the time.
Yeah.
But I wonder how many people are going to actually, now if they keep it up and add new merch all the time, it'll be good, I think. But how much merch are they going to have? Like, is it going to match what's in the park? Are they going to bring in new merchandise for different events and things like that? And a lot of people, I would guess, order things online anyway. So
yeah,
it's a good idea. I mean, I'll go visit it. If they open one near us, I mean, we live in South Florida. I'm sure there'll be one open nearby. We'll go check it out and we'll vlog it for you guys and show you. Again, I've said I'm not into Marvel, but this looks really cool. It's very popular. They're going to have a hotel themed around Marvel in Paris. And there's some pictures and concept art we put on our Facebook page. They're going to have themed rooms for heroes, and they're going to have some different character meets and things like that. They're going to have a Spider-Man themed attraction.
Now, this one here I'm excited about. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to have this in Florida anytime. It wasn't part of the announcement.
Not yet.
They're going to have it in Anaheim.
Right.
This Marvel area and the Spider-Man ride looks really, really cool. That whole thing. I'm not into the Avengers that much.
But we do love Spider-Man.
Everyone likes Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But the way they describe that land and the Spider-Man ride in particular, where they're like Peter Parker's with other scientists and they're inventing things, it looks really exciting. And I'll tell you, Universal Orlando has not only a Spider-Man ride, they've got the Hulk. They got a whole superhero area. I don't know what Universal's going to do, but they're going to have to make some changes.
I've never been on the Spider-Man ride at Universal, but I've seen videos, and you sit in a car and you just kind of watch a video. This is kind of the same deal, I think, but it's more interactive. You can actually shoot webs from the car.
Yeah, like Buzz Lightyear, kind of a game.
I think that's what it's going to be kind of like. So this is the car. It's called the Web Slinger vehicle. And you will actually be able to shoot webs like Spider-Man and have some kind of interactive experience.
I like that a lot.
Like Buzz Lightyear. And then this is some more concept art for the Avengers. They're going to have a lot of different characters and things like that. This is the Epcot logo and their new slogan, The Magic of Possibility, which I think is really nice. They had a whole presentation on the changes of Epcot. And I got to tell you, they said it's the biggest transformation they're going to have of any park. And Epcot Future World is going to be completely unrecognizable. It is going to be so amazing.
It's going to be a mess, though,
for
the
next
couple of years.
They're going to divide it into 4 neighborhoods, like we said.
Now, this is the beginning of my disappointment today. This is the very beginning of my disappointment.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I was very excited, and I like this new transformation that they're doing. And they have these, I guess they call them neighborhoods, right? Discovery, Celebration, Nature, and the World Showcase. In the nature area, this is where my first disappointment of D23 was. And it when they did this, because it really got to me. They have that really cool building that has the forest on top of it,
right?
Which looks amazing. And underneath that,
it's like a garden.
Yeah. Underneath that, which is the second story, would be underneath. They have this area that you can go into, and they have like this news thing, like a news anchor desk,
right?
And then underneath is just like a area to walk in.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is really interesting, because they showed people walking in that grassy area and everything. And then they said in the announcement this afternoon that that area with the television anchor desk looking thing is going to be a place to be the headquarters about the different festivals. So the festivals aren't going anywhere, and they're going to, I guess, have cast members that are like news people doing interviews.
So why are you
and things.
disappointed about that?
Well, because they said the garden area on top is a viewing area for the fireworks. And they didn't say this today, but I have an idea that, oh yeah, you can go up there, but it's going to cost you through the nose. And if that's a special viewing area, that little forest area on top of the building for the fireworks, it ain't going to be free.
Well,
so it's going to be, it looks to me like
I hope you're wrong.
A lot of money, because you got the great view like you've never had before. The whole park and the World Showcase.
Well, you're elevated right over that lake. Looking right onto that lake where the new show is going to be. You know,
looks very. If they're charging for that, and I'm telling you, they're going to charge for it. It's going to be a lot of money.
Well, it's funny because we were watching this live, and we were watching it in Spokesmain stream, and there was like a chat, and everybody was like, "Yeah, this is going to be expensive," and everything.
Yeah,
and it's so great, all these changes, and I'm excited for it. But I did get the feeling when it was all over, my thought was Disney is really catering to the super rich people. They're not really catering to regular people anymore, because I think you're right. A lot of these, now, most of the areas will be accessible through regular park ticket, okay? But maybe you're right. Maybe this garden area, which is elevated, which looks so cool, they're going to have to limit the number of people, and they might have like a special ticket just to go in, like they have those dessert parties.
Or those areas, you know, I'll tell you what it makes me think. When I see that garden area and you can watch the fireworks or that great view up there, it kind of reminds me of James Cameron's Titanic. Like the people up in the forest are Rose and Billy Zane, and the rest of us are watching the fireworks in steerage.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We could be wrong. We've been wrong many times.
They're not going to let you
before.
up there for free to watch the fireworks.
So this I'm excited about. Spaceship Earth is doing a transformation, and they said most of the scenes will remain the same, but they're going to add to them and make them more magical. And they said there's going to be a light there's going to be a new host, like a light that leads you through the whole ride, and you're going to see it above you, and it's going to, in this one section, you could see it's like a manta ray type thing, and it's going to be a light, and they had a video of it on the ceiling that kind of leads you through the whole ride, which I think is so cool. I mean, the Imagineers really are very clever. I think that's a great idea. Now, this I'm excited about. Disneyland is getting a new parade. I want this parade. Disneyland gets all the good parades. They brought back the Electrical Light Parade, which I loved as a kid. And now they're getting this parade called Magic Happens. And these are concept arts pictures of the floats, which look amazing. And they have one for Coco, one for Moana, Sleeping Beauty. So if you go on our Facebook page, you can click these on and look at them.
You know, I
want this parade at our park.
This is very funny. Someone commented here on the Facebook group about this parade. They already have our Main Street Electric Parade and never... Yeah, exactly. Can we get our electrical parade back in Florida since they're getting this new parade?
I know. They're giving...
And now they get a new one. Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to get more people at Disneyland because Disney World does not have a crowd problem usually.
No.
But sometimes they switch parades, and sometimes they will have a parade and then they'll bring it to this. I've seen the Festival of Fantasy parade at Disney World so many times on video and in person. I'm ready for a new parade.
Yeah.
They said new parades, new shows coming. But these are pictures for the parade, which will be at Disneyland. Hopefully, it will be coming to Disney World soon. Now, this is the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Which I'll never ride because it's too intense for me.
It looks intense. It's called Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And he said it's going to have the first ever backwards launch.
Yeah.
And you're like launched into space. I think these rides are so cool. But we've talked about it. These rides that have multiple elements.
Yeah.
Break down a lot.
Like Hagrid's at Universal's been.
So we'll see. It's a lot to maintain. They did show, I have to say, when they were talking about Galaxy's Edge, if you watch the clip of it, that's the name of the new restaurant.
Oh, Space 220. Oh, I missed that part.
Yep.
Is the name of the space restaurant.
If you watch any live stream on D23 today, try to find the part where they start talking about Galaxy's Edge and they show a brief clip, like 20 seconds of Rise of the Resistance.
It looks amazing.
That ride looks like the coolest thing you could ever.
It looks amazing.
You have stormtroopers shooting at you. It's a trackless ride. They have the AT-ATs in there, which look life-size. It's like you're inside an Imperial ship is what it is, and you're trying to escape.
Yeah, by
You
the
know what I mean?
way,
It's so, or something like that.
by the way, those are
So cool.
AT-ATs, not AT-ATs. And it's a funny thing, I saw Adam the Woo.
A lot of people call them AT-ATs. They
No,
didn't
because
grow up
they
with Star Wars
it's
like we
AT-ATs.
did. It's AT-AT.
Yeah, Adam the Woo was at Galaxy's Edge in Orlando the other day, and he asked someone, Do you call this an AT-AT or an AT-AT?" And he said it's a generational thing.
Yeah. Well,
They're
in the
AT-ATs.
movie, they're called AT-ATs.
Correct.
Okay, they have them in Empire Strikes Back,
But
which was very cool.
Rise of the Resistance looks incredible.
Amazing. I like these trackless rides, like the Ratatouille ride. If you go on YouTube and you Google Ratatouille Paris, you can see the ride. It is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. These trackless rides are the future of these kind of rides, and they're amazing. But to get the Rise of the Resistance, oh my goodness.
Oh, this is the Disney Play area at Epcot.
Okay, so they're going to have a Disney Play area, and they are keeping with the thinking of Epcot being very interactive, where you have hands-on exhibits. And they said there's going to be an area where you can help design with Edna Mode, and you can have a water balloon fight with Huey, Dewey, and Louie. The kids will love that. Something with Wreck-It Ralph. And so that's going to be a whole play area at Epcot, which I think will be a lot of fun. This I'm excited about. At World Showcase, they're changing 3 of the movies. If you go to World Showcase, there's the countries, some of them have these in the round movies, like the 360 movies. China is getting a new one, and Canada is getting a new one, and Beauty and the Beast Sing-Along is going to be in Paris. So I think he said the Canadian one and the Beauty and the Beast will open in January of next year.
Well, he said something. Okay,
they're filming
China. A couple things
now.
about this one. When he talked about Canada, he said some new scenes. He didn't say it's all new. So I don't know if they're using some of the old. I don't know if it was misspeaking. And
well, that'll be neat.
Yeah, and China, this is not the movie that's showing now in China is not the original. It's at least the second.
Okay. Well, they're filming it now.
Yeah.
And my mom's Canadian. I'll have to take her to that. She hasn't been to Disney in so long.
So in
I'll
France,
have to take her to see the new movie.
So in France, we get no history of France anymore. We're going to get the Beauty and the Beast sing-along.
Sing-along, right.
I like the French
Geez, I haven't
movie.
seen the French movie, and I don't even remember what
I
it's
like
about.
that one.
I remember the Canadian was with Martin Short, and I remember the Chinese one. It's really neat with China. The French one, I don't even remember.
It's really
I'm
good.
sure I've seen it. I'm sure it's beautiful. I mean, France is a beautiful country. And this is the new Ratatouille ride. That is opening next summer, which will be amazing.
Yeah.
This is why I want to upgrade your pass, okay? Brian has the gold pass. I have the silver. You have the gold annual pass. And if I upgrade you to the premiere, you will be able to probably, like, they're allowing people into Galaxy's Edge early. So I'm thinking I better upgrade you in December because they might be allowing people previews on these rides, but you got to have so I'm going to upgrade your pass so you can go on these rides early. And this was really exciting. So they were done talking about everything. It went on for a couple hours, I think. I don't know. We were sitting here for a while in the office. And then he said there's one more big announcement coming.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is after they announced
this
everything.
This is when the big disappointment comes.
Well, I wasn't disappointed, but
I was very
you are.
disappointed.
And everybody thought, this has been a rumor for a while, that they were announcing a new country at World Showcase, and it was going to be Brazil.
Yeah.
They haven't announced it. I guess it's not happening. It has not been announced. This was the Parks Panel. It would have been announced here. So he said, we have one more big announcement. Dick Van Dyke came out, which of course is amazing. He's a Disney legend. The guy's like 90 years old. And they are having the Mary Poppins. Oh, I wrote Mary Poppies. I guess I better change that. Mary Poppies. They're adding the Mary Poppins attraction. I guess I got to put an N there. I'll fix it. To Epcot, UK. And I'm not sure what the ride is exactly, but he said in the announcement that they're going to have Cherry Tree Lane, which is the road that the Banks family lives on that you see in the original movie. And they're going to build that lane, that road with all the houses. And they're going to have the Banks family home. I don't know if you can go in the home or if it's like the Christopher Robin bedroom that you can go in once in a while. But I think that's really cool. So they're going to build like a whole new area. They really need to update those World Showcase pavilions a little bit. They've been there for
I'll
so
tell you
long.
what. At Epcot in the World Showcase with all these things, right? We're going to have Mary Poppins. We're going to have Ratatouille.
Yeah, here's the Mary Poppins posters. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, there's going to be things to do in the World Showcase other than drink.
Yes, that's great. And then they're announcing the Epcot Forever show is going to be called Harmonious, and it's going to be the largest nighttime show in Disney history. I'm assuming that's taking over Illuminations, and they played a song from it. It was very nice. But he said it'll be the largest nighttime show ever. They got some big nighttime shows, so I cannot imagine what this is going to be like. I mean, if you go to the show at Hollywood Studios, Fantasmic, they have the Star Wars show, which is both amazing.
Yeah.
This is going to be the biggest one. That I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And you know what's great about Epcot? The area, they have these shows over the lake, and it's a huge area, so you can always find a place to stand and enjoy yourself. And they showed some of the 50th anniversary merch, the new logo that's coming out. It's all kind of iridescent, purpley, greenish colors. It looks really cute. So that'll be in 2021.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'll be 51 then. That's scary. And then they're going to add a Genie app, which I think is very clever. This is going to be a new feature of the app. And unfortunately, when we were watching this, the feed went out for a few minutes. So we kind of missed this announcement. But we got it kind of at the end. And I think it's a new thing they're putting in the app. And it's going to make it more personal for you, help you. Like, it's going to suggest things. Right now, when you go in the Disney app or online, it doesn't really suggest things for you to do. And I guess their marketing team realized, gee, we could be making a lot more money if we had a family and we knew they had 3 daughters and they were all under the age of 10. We could, find out what they like and start suggesting things.
Which is a nice way to say push you into doing things you otherwise would not do.
So it's going to be a more interactive,
this
personal
Genie app,
experience.
The Genie app, if the kids see it and it starts pushing things on the kids that the parent, you know what I mean?
Well, all the kids have phones. Of course they're going to see it.
Oh, yeah. We got to go to the workshop and get lightsabers. It's suggesting, Dad.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, $200.
They know I love Luke Skywalker. How do they know this?
Exactly. $200 right there.
Please. You know how kids are. So this is exciting, but something you and I will probably never be able to experience. The Star Wars cruise ship hotel. And how it works is, as we've said before, it's a very clever idea. It's like a cruise ship in space. And she said it's going to be a 2-day, 2-night thing you pay for. That's the only option they have right now, 2 days, 2 nights. And you go into the ship and you get launched right here. You go into this area right here and you get launched up into space.
Yeah.
And then you dock with the Halcyon ship. So you're in this little ship right here, and then you dock with the Halcyon main ship. And then you have your room and you can see through the window space and everything.
Well, this is my third disappointment from D23 because the Star Wars Hotel, did they give us the name of it? I guess it's the name of the ship.
No, the Star Wars Hotel, they have a name. I just don't have it here. It's Galactic Cruiser, I think it's called.
Here's the thing with the Star Wars Hotel. The Star Wars Hotel is going to be so highly priced that very few people are going to be able to do. Plus, it's small. So, I used to hear these stories like in the 80s when Michael Jackson was really big that he had his own private suite at the top of the Contemporary. In fact, I saw it on TV once, That's how I feel like this is. This is something for the celebrities, for very wealthy people.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about when I'm talking about wealthy people, I'm talking about super wealthy people. I mean, this is something that most people are not going to enjoy, and that's really unfortunate. I really don't think Disney should be in the business of putting together something that everyone wants to see like this.
That only a few can afford.
Yeah. Like, for example,
I agree with you.
They have the suite in Cinderella's castle, and everybody wants to stay there, but you can't go buy it for $2,000 a night. You know what I mean? There's some special things. They don't release how to get to stay there. So I really think...
Pretty much if you're famous.
I think the Star Wars Hotel is a big disappointment because it's just out of the reach for most anybody to ever afford to do, and that's just not what I like to see Disney about. But,
they're going to start booking it soon, she said. So that makes me think within the next 6 months, we'll see what the prices are. But they made it out like a 2-day, 2-night thing, all-inclusive, I think. And they have so many games and activities and character meetings when you're there.
Yeah.
I think their thinking is that they don't want people you won't leave. You'll stay there for 2 days, 2 nights, and you'll stay there and you won't go to the parks. You'll do everything in there. And then after 2 days, 2 nights, you leave and then go stay somewhere else and then go to the parks. That's what they're thinking. Somebody put a thread on Facebook asking them, how much did you spend on your last Disney World trip? And people put their answers, and it was pretty crazy. And they would say, I went for 5 days For a family of 4, it cost me $6,000.
Oh my! Wow.
That is
and that's
crazy.
Without these new things.
Things like that. So add it up. It's going to cost you even more next time. Okay. So then it said here. Then they got into. We're almost finished here. They're adding another cruise ship called the Wish, and they're going to be staying at a new area called Lighthouse Point, which is in Eleuthera in the Bahamas, a Disney-owned area.
Well,
here's the pictures of the Wish, and Rapunzel is going to be the character on the stern.
Now, this will be interesting. At the Star Wars Hotel, they said today just 2-night stays. When people start doing the math, if you could stay 7 nights and compare that to the
I don't think
Disney
you can.
cruise,
they're not offering.
Well,
that.
no, but if you do the 2-night math and then you multiply it, so you figure out how. I wonder which would cost more for 7 days: the real cruise ship on the ocean, or the Star Wars Hotel.
Oh, the Star
for
Wars
7
Hotel.
days. Yeah.
I think they're doing it in small increments, like just 2 days, 2 nights, because it is going to be so expensive. And I think if they offered it for 5 days, people would say, "Well, that's just exorbitant. I just can't." I mean, it's still going to be expensive, but then this is a great thing. I'm so excited, but again, this is where I'm a little disappointed. They're building a new resort called Reflections, and it's a lakeside lodge, which is amazing. They have these A-frame style homes, and then they have tree houses and things with glass and windows, really cool. And they have a restaurant based on The Princess and the Frog, which will be amazing. But again, this is a DVC hotel, and this looks very expensive. I really wish they would build more hotels that were suited like on the lower end price wise. Right now they have 4 so-called value resorts. And even those can get expensive. And they're building more and more of the luxury level resorts, and they're not building enough of the value resorts. So if you're somebody who's lower income or doesn't have a lot of money to spend or whatever, your options are getting smaller and smaller of where to stay because they're just building more and more of the luxury.
You know what it
hotels.
seems to me? It seems to be kind of like a DVC version of the Wilderness Lodge because it's pretty similar.
It's a similar feel, but this is kind of cool because you have these A-frame homes, which are really neat. Now, those have got to be probably going to be $1,500 a night or something.
Or at least
they have those like little huts outside of the Polynesian, and those are like $800 or $900 a night sometimes. I mean, they're amazing. But again, a lot of money. And this is really cool. They're building this statue. I'm excited about this. And it's going to be a statue of Walt. I think that's what this is, near Spaceship Earth. And you're going to be able to sit next to him, and he's kind of overlooking everything. To me, there's not enough Walt in the parks. They have the Founders statue at the hub, at the Magic Kingdom. But Walt should be more present at Disney, I feel. There should be more pictures of him. Now, they have the Grand Destino Hotel where they have some pictures of him in the lobby. But I feel Walt needs to be more present at the parks.
Agree. Yeah.
And they did say they're going to go back to the beginnings and do more with the original characters and Walt Disney because they're acquiring all these different properties. They're losing what Disney's all about in a lot of ways. They're acquiring all these new characters and heroes and all these things, which is fine. But they need to remember who started all this. And I think they need to make him more present.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. That's a great idea. So that's it, guys. That's our Facebook group if you want to join it. I post everything up here. I better correct that Mary Poppins thing before we finish here. Thanks so much, guys, for listening. And please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we will see you guys in the parks.